This is the Star Wars X-Wing tutorial. Disney, please don't copy strike me. My singing's not that good. Awesome fun! What is up, dudes, dudettes, and dudes who defy description? My name is Oz, and in this tutorial, I will show you how to build 3 different X-Wing designs. We've got the classic Luke Skywalker white and red version, with S-foils closed and open in attack position. We also have the black and orange Poe Dameron version. All of the X-Wings are based on the T-65B Starfighter. Even though Poe's is a T-70, I didn't think it was visually significantly different. In the description, you will find a material list, and I would recommend you take extras just in case you lose someone building, especially building up at height. In the description, you'll also find the chapters for the episode. The order you watch depends on what you want to build. If you want to go for the S-foils closed, classic X-Wing, the viewing order is X-Wing body, wings closed, and building notes. Optionally, you do have landing gear if you want to build this on the ground. For the X-Wing with S-foils in attack position, start with the X-Wing body, then wings open, and lastly building notes. For Poe's Starfighter, start with Poe's black and gold X-Wing, then X-Wing body, wings open, and building notes. So let's get building, and may the blocks be with you. Alright, we're going to start here in the center block, which is on the 43 side, so this is 22. I'm coming up 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then I'm going to grab polished andesite stairs, chuck them there, come down, break that away, and place one underneath like that. We then want 2 temporary blocks behind there, and we're then going to place blocks in the same pattern that we have there on both sides. We then want to switch to our polished andesite slabs. We're going to place that underneath here, 1 and 2, and then you'll go back onto the top and do the same thing, 1 and 2. Then we can drop back down to here, switch to our quartz pillar, and then place quartz pillar here and here as well. Make sure they're facing in that direction. Next, grab your white concrete, solid concrete, and come back 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now grab 1 smooth quartz slab, place it on the top and on the bottom. Then you're going to go for the red nether brick slab and go 1, 2, 3, 4, just on the lower section. Do the same thing there, so 1, 2 with the quartz slab, and a 1, 2, 3, 4. Now jump up to the top of it, place 1 snow block, 1 and 2 yellow terracotta, 1, 2, 3 snow block. Switch back to the smooth quartz slab and place 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then smooth quartz stairs, 1, 2, a 1, 2. Right way round, please. Jump back underneath, and then behind the red section here, you're going to place quartz stair, 1, a 2, and 3. Then you're going to switch to red nether brick stair and go a 1, a 2. Ah! I've done that so many times, it makes me want to cry. 3 and 4. Switch around, and you're going to do the same thing on this side. A 1, 2, and 3 on the smooth, a quartzy stair, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to come to here, and what we want to do is place quartz slab here, 1 there, break this one so that we've got the 4 concrete exposed, and for now bring this back here in line with that. We come back to the top, then above this section here we're going to place a 1, 2, 3, and 4 of the quartz stairs. The exact same on this side. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're then going to go for a red nether brick slab. 1 at the end, and 2, same on the opposite side. We're then going to get ourselves smooth quartz slab. Place 1 on top of the snow block. Break this one here, and we're going to bring this back all the way to above where we've got these slabs. I just cannot cut a break today in the weather for this tutorial. Right, if we come back here, where we've got the gap here underneath the 2 slabs that we placed, we're going to jump up and place a slab of the smooth quartz underneath just to match that bit. Then we can place 1 more slab underneath here. Now we're then going to place 2 mushroom stem here and 2 bone block here. Now the idea of the mushroom stem is I think it kind of looks like battle damage. So again, that's kind of optional. I suppose you could make it all out of quartz or just make this side match that side there. But I quite like this for battle damage, especially from a distance. Then underneath the back bone block, the back mushroom stem, we'll place 1, 2 smooth quartz slabs. Switch to your smooth quartz stairs, and we're going to bring this back for a total of 7. So that's 3, 4, and 7. Exactly the same thing on this side here. A 1, 2, and 7, like so. So it matches. Then we're going to come to this bit here. Behind this slab, we're going to place 1, 2 mushroom stems like that. Again, this is to help complement the idea of battle damage coming down here. Then we're going to place a temporary slab underneath that bit of mushroom stem. Place 1 here. Break away your temporary one and bring your smooth quartz slab all the way back underneath to 1 beyond the stair that's already there. So 1 back beyond the stair, like that. Let's come back up now to the top of the X-Wing. We're going to get rid of this 1 slab here at the edge on the red slates. We're going to replace that with 1 snow block, and then 1, 2, 3 yellow terracotta. Then going to come back to the front bit here. We're going to place a quartz slab 1 and 2 like that. Same on the other side, 1, 2. We're then going to place a slab just on the lower half of that section there. Same here. We're then going to switch to our smooth quartz stairs and come back along here for 3s. 1 and 3. And exactly the same on the other side. 1, 2, and 3. Then we come back to this last bit of terracotta, place a quartz slab on top, another one behind it, break this one away, grab your tinted glass, and then we're going to come behind the slab for 1, 2, and 3. Then we're going to do 1 on either side here, come back 3, 3 down here, and 3 along here. Then grab a temporary block, place 1, 2, 3, and 4. Get rid of this. Then we're going to drop back down underneath. Then come along to the second mushroom block and place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then come back to the first one, break it away, turn around like this, so it's turned like that. Now we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. So come along to the second block in, come 1, 2, and 6. Come back to the front one here, break it out, turn around, get it tilted like so. Now come to the back of the 6th stair that you placed. On this side here, we're going to place 1, 2 full smooth quartz blocks, 1, 2 concrete blocks. We're then going to come down to the lower stair and place 1, 2 of the quartz pillar in this direction. Underneath, we're going to place 1, 2 mushroom stem on the top, well, bottom, well, this is a top slab. You see what I mean. And the same at the back of the 6th stair on the opposite side. The pattern is 1 full quartz block, 2 mushroom stem, one smooth quartz block, then one mushroom stem, a quartz pillar. Now above where we placed the stair here, we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Come over to the opposite side and do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now on this side, we're going to place bone blocks going back for 4. 1, 2, 3, and... oh, amazing. Then we switch over to this side, and we're going to do 1 mushroom stem, and then our 4 bone block. Or 3 bone block to make 4 all the way back to there. Now we can grab our tinted glass, and we're going to place one part in here behind this stair, and another part in here behind this strip of stair as well. Then we can put in one more piece of tinted glass behind that, switch to your smooth quartz block and go a 1, 2, 3. Do the same thing on the opposite side, so another piece of tinted glass behind there, smooth quartz block 1, 2, and 3. Then looking at this one here, we're going to go slab here, stair here. Need to get ourselves up. Behind the stair, we'll place a block. On top of the block, another stair. Okay, so that's behind this 3 of glass. We're going 1 slab, 1 stair, 1 block, 1 stair. So we'll come back here, do the same thing. 1 slab, 1 stair, 1 block, 1 stair. Then in this little gap here, in between our 2 slabs, we're going to place 1 piece of tinted glass to fill that in. We can then come back here, and up here, we're going to place 1 slab of the polished andesite variety, and down there we're going to place an andesite stair. Now we'll come down below the andesite stair here to where we've got this 2 mushroom block. We're going to grab our white concrete and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Switch to calcite for 1 and 2, and then finish that up with a bone block at the very end, with the circle facing towards us like so. Grab yourself smooth quartz stair, come to the second calcite block, and here you're going to place 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Do the same on the opposite side, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then we're going to switch to our smooth quartz slabs. We're going to place 1, 2, and 3 along here. So that's 1, 2, and 3 from the second mushroom stem block back. Then at the very end, you can do a 1, 2, and a 1, 2. Now come to this front slab here, come 1 back from it, and you're going to place 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Flip around to this side, so slab at the front, come 1 back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then slide back along to the front to this quartz pillar. Going to place the slab on the top half there. Going to put a bit of mushroom stem in behind it like so. Then we're going to switch to our smooth quartz stairs and place 1 in front of the stem and 1 to the side. Now we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So we're looking to here, get our slab on the top section, except we're going to use quartz pillar this side, not mushroom block, just because we've got this bit not damaged, the other bit a little bit damaged. And then the same thing with our stairs. Our stairs on the quartz pillar and 1 behind it. Now in this bit of second white concrete, place yourself a temporary block, a stair, quartz block next to that, another temporary block, and a stair like so. We're going to repeat the same thing on the opposite side, except the temporary block is going here on this bit of quartz behind the 2 mushroom block, and the same pattern, which was stair, quartz block, temporary block, and then stair here. Now coming to above the stairs that we just placed, what we're going to do is look here, we're going to place one quartz block there, a stair here facing towards us, come to the stair that we placed down here, we're going to place another stair on top of it, a quartz block next to it, and then another stair on top of this one. Coming back to the edge of the one we placed, that was one block there, a stair there, jump down and place a stair on top of the one we've already got, with a quartz block next to it, and another stair on top of the one we placed down here. We come back up to the top, behind our cockpit area here, behind this stair, we're going to place one smooth quartz block on the lower section there. We're going to place a quick temporary block here, with a smooth quartz slab there. Then we're going to place 3 polished andesite slab, 1, 2, and 3, and finally a smooth quartz slab at the end. Now we're going to do the exact same thing on this side, so that was on the lower block there, one of the slabs, temporary block, 1 smooth quartz slab, 1, 2, 3 polished andesite, and then at the very end we have ourselves 1 smooth quartz block. Now behind the Andy stair that we've got, we're going to place 1 chiseled quartz block. This is actually our R2 unit that's going to be. Behind that, a snow block. Behind that, an Andy slab on the top half. Underneath that, we're going to place a daylight detector and give it a flick as well. We're then going to place another andesite slab. Only want that to be a top half one. We're actually going to do 2, so let's do that, break that one. Okay, so that's Andy slab, daylight detector on the lower bit, 2 of our slabs here. Then we're going to put 1 snow block behind that. Behind the snow block, we're going to have a stair facing downwards and backwards, like so, with a quartz slab sticking out the end of it, like that. Now we'll turn back to our R2 unit. Now you might want to mess around with your own design for this. This one I thought worked pretty well. We've got our 2 diorite walls on either side of the chisel block. Our blue lapis gives you the right kind of color scheme for R2. And then you can just kind of mess around with placing some buttons all around it just to give them a bit of style. Also want to put a button on this block behind here. Now we'll look back to the front bit here where we've got this second stair next to the Andy one. We're going to place a dirt block there so that we can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quartz pillars, so in line with the back Andy one here. Get rid of that. Exactly the same on this side. We're going to look for that stair, come down 1, and then go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then again, finish it at the bottom. The quartz slab on the lower half there, and just the same on this side, a quartz slab on the lower half. Now we'll come to the front here, where you've got this stair and a gap here. Place yourself 1 smooth quartz block in there, with a normal stair just on the flat there, and 1 behind it there. And we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So where we've got the stair facing forward and a little gap, a smooth quartz block here, and here, and here with the stair. Now we're going to go underneath. So climb up underneath where we just were. Get yourself your white concrete. We're going to place it underneath this slab here, and 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to place a stair at the end like so. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so 3 on the other side, and then a stair in the same place like so. Now if we build up to below where we just were, we need to place basically 1 stair there and another stair there going the same way. So to do that, let's do a temporary block here and 1 here. So we're going to place a stair coming down like that, and another stair coming down like that. And then what we can do is go ahead and duplicate this underneath. So we'll come to this outer stair, place 1 upside down like that, place a temporary block there, another stair upside down, just so we can see the mirror in the shape there. Now we obviously want to build the same thing over here. And there we go, the same on both sides. Now we also need to add in a bone block up here. So we'll place 1 dirt block there, where we've got 2 behind, grab our bone block, and then let's see. Yep. Get 2 bone block facing in like that. Now you can see the progress that you've made so far. Now it's at this point in the video that you want to make your decision. If you're going to build the X-Wing with the wings closed, the S-foils in the closed position, just carry on watching the video from here. However, if you want to build the X-Wing with the wings open in the X shape, then you want to click on X-Wing Wings Open. That's what you want to click on in the chapters in the description. So you can go and look for the X-Wing Wings Open chapter. Because the way that you build the body is slightly different from here going forward. That's why I've stopped at this point. So wings are closed, like if it's going to be just closed, or if you want to have it in the landing gear position, carry on watching here. Otherwise, for the wings open, you need to change chapter. Now we're going to fill in the body, so let's grab first one bit of calcite, place it behind the stair, then all quartz pillar now, behind the stair, facing in this direction, and the same all here. Now grab your observers, you're going to place them like this, with the red bit facing towards you, with a 2 gap here. Then we're going to grab a temporary block of some kind. Place another observer there and one on top of it. Same on the opposite side. And then we also want another 3 in the same place. 1, 2, 3, like so. Now you can grab iron bars and fill in this entire section here. Get yourself to the other side. Get yourself some blast furnaces and place them like so. Then we can get rid of our temporary blocks. Now come around from the back, we're going to come to this quartz pillar here and place 1, 2 and 3 stairs. Get your smooth quartz block and we're going to place one behind this stair, behind this stair. Then you're going to switch to your stairs again and fill the gap in between here, all with stairs. Then we're going to switch to our smooth slabs and we're going to fill slabs in all across here. Now we'll want to do the same thing on the opposite side. Just like so. We're going to come up on top now. In this gap here on top of this observer, we're going to place 1 white concrete, get some stairs and place 1, 2 and 3. We're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So again, the gap where we've now got our observers, we place a white concrete, switch to the stairs, and the stairs go from the pillar over the concrete and 1 in front. Now what we need to do, a bit like we did on the bottom, is get behind these stairs and place ourselves some smooth quartz. Might as well do it on all sides at the same time. Then we're going to get our stairs and place them in between, upside down. And the idea here is to give the impression that this section is capable of opening up. And the bottom section, basically, they can open up for the wings. Now on the inside, we're going to grab our smooth quartz block, place them in front of these pillars here. 1, 2. Place them on the inside of these stairs here. 1, 2. Then we're going to place them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 along the bottom. 1 more in the corner there. So the same 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 more in the corner. We've got a gap of 4 on both sides, which we're going to fill 1, 2, 3, 4 with bone blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've now closed up, although we're trapped on the inside. Before we bust out, let's quickly grab our polished andesite slab and place one here. See, we're just hiding this gap there, here, and here. Now, although there isn't a specific interior here, because this would obviously just be full of machinery, and you've got the cockpit, which we will utilize later on. But just in general, if you had this thing on the ground, you do actually have quite a lot of space inside here. You could easily use this as a starter base. And I think, for example, it would be really cool to put this on the ground, and the landing gear is coming up later. in a swamp, and you could do the kind of Dagobah swamp scene and use this as your starter base. That'd be pretty cool. But anyway, now that we've completed this bit, it's time to put some wings on this thing. When it comes to the wings, what we're going to do is we're going to do this wing here together, and then the opposite wing is obviously just exactly what you put here, but flipped on the other side. So what you want to do here is start with grabbing your smooth quartz stair. We're going to look up to the left of the pillar block and place 1, 2, just normal way around, and then 2 upside down here. Now you want to grab your smooth quartz slab and place them on the lower half of this bone block for 4, and then just between these 2 stairs here for 4, like so. Next up, we're going to grab a slab. We're going to place it in front of this stair here, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Stop 1 before the edge of that. Then get yourself up above the section that you've just placed, and we're going to place slabs on top, the ones we just placed. Then looking at this one at the furthest edge, we're going to place 1, 2, 3, and 4, like so, with 1, 2 quartz stairs in the middle. Now we'll drop down below. We're going to place 1, 2, 3, 4 slabs here, along with 2 stairs. So basically mirroring what we have above. Now if we look behind the 2 stairs here, we're going to place 2 blocks of calcite. Switch to andesite wall and place 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 coming along this way. Then to the right of the calcite blocks, you're going to place a red upside down nether brick stair and 2 polished andesite stairs. Now place a temporary block beside this bit of calcite. Come behind it and we're going to place 1, 2, 3 of the nether brick slabs. You can get rid of this now. In front here, we're going to place a single red nether brick slab to match that. We then want a full andesite block or 2 slabs and 1 andesite slab just there, like so. We then want to do the same thing on this side, so we're going to put temporary block in there. We're going to put 2 calcite coming up here, get rid of our temporary block. Then we're going to do the same wall, 1, 2, 3, and then 4. If I can find a way without falling to my death. 4 there, come around here, and then we also want our stair on this side here, like that, red stair. And then we have 2 polished andesite stairs. So 1 here, and need an extended path, and 2 there. So just exactly the same as it was on the other side. Now if we take a peek at this slab here, if we look at this wall at the back, we need to place a full andesite block on top of this slab and come back for a total of 5. So that's 3, 4, 5, and then the 6th block is a block of redstone, and underneath that we're going to put a slab and a slab with 1 gap in between it, so to match the edge of the walls there. Now we want to place a full andesite block on either side of this redstone block. We then want to place an upside down stairs on the end, an upside down stair on this side here, and an upside down stair on there too. Now come around to the 2 calcite blocks on this side, place an upside down smooth quartz stair on both of the blocks. Then we want 1 temporary block in front of the stairs. Get yourself up above it, jump on top, and there we can place 2 slabs, just 1 level above the stairs, like so. Okay, from the left-hand slab that we just placed, we're going to place 1, 2 mushroom stem, a temporary block, 2 white concrete, break this one out, and then get yourself on top of the wing. On top of the wing, we're going to do the same pattern we've been doing already, which is behind the 2 stairs, 2 pieces of calcite. Coming out from the calcite, on the left, we're going to do 4 andesite walls, exactly like we did before. Round here is the red stair, just facing the normal direction, with 2 polished andesite stairs sticking out like that. While we've got this engine open, we're going to look at the 2nd stair, put in a black block of coal, with a button in front of it. This is going to be part of the engine. And then you can grab your polished andesite stairs. We're going to mirror the same thing on this side. So that is 2 stairs sitting like this. That is a red stair here. Then we have our 2 calcite again. 1 and 2. And our 4 andesite walls coming on here too. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we can head back to the start where we're going to put ourselves 1 slab here, a slab in front, then make this a full andesite block, that 1 slab. This here is going to be a red slab here. In the gap, we're going to put a full andesite block behind the coal block. We're then going to put full andesite blocks all the way along here until we reach the wall. And then if we look below, we can see we're going to do it 1 more, and then we're going to put our block of redstone on this outside edge here. Now if we pop back to here, switch to our smooth quartz slab, we're going to place 3 of those all together. Now we'll leave a gap of 2 here, place a slab, leave a gap of 1 and place a slab. On the edge of this, we need to place a full block, like so. Then coming around here, a bit like the stairs, we need to mirror what we've got underneath. So that is our polished andesite stairs, but just facing in the normal direction on both sides here. And the same on this outside edge here. Now what we'll want to do is get ourselves to drop back down into the middle between the 2 here. And we're going to place a slab here, underneath here, and a slab here as well. You can also place 1 slab here on the edge of the walls and 1 slab here as well. Now we'll want to come around to the front here and place another slab just to connect to the front, and we'll see this one's just here. And that gives us our 2 engine ports. The last thing we need to do is get our iron bars, and we're going to place 1 iron bar in this gap. So in, hopefully, there, and in there, to complete the rear of the engines. Now let's bring ourselves back to the front of the engines here. So you're going to need to climb up and get yourself in the middle of the 2 of them that we can see here. Now when we're here, we want to mirror this. So we're going to put a block of coal, 1 behind, with a button in front like that. We then want to switch to our polished andesite slabs and place 1, 2, 3 along there, 1, 2, 3 along there, and 1 in front like that to give us the kind of Tetris shape. Now get in between the wings, come to this back section here, and we're going to place slabs just for the moment for 3 in 2 layers. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and the same here. And then when we reach this section here, so above this last andesite block, we're going to place basically 2 full andesite blocks across for 3 as well, like that. We can also fill in this bit in the center as well. Now the rest of this bit, we're going to want to fill this in with slabs. Do there. We can do that again, full quartz blocks here. In this bit here, you're just going to place them on the lower half and top half of that block, on this block as well, and then fill all this in too. Now we'll come down below the wing again, look up to the left hand of this slab, and you can place 1, 2, 1, 2, like that. On this bottom block here, we're going to place calcite. Next to that, a red brick slab. Now 2 smooth quartz slabs. Next to that, 2 red slabs. Now the smooth slab again for 1, 2, 3, and 4. Put a red slab in between these 2. Back to the smooth slab. 1, 2, and 3. Then come 1 over, and you're going to put slabs of the smooth quartz variety all the way back along the front edge of this wing, and we're going to stop 1 before the end, so 1 before this last stair. Then at the end here, we're going to place 1 on the edge and come 1 down, And then now it's time to get on top of the wing again. Back on top of the wing, in front of the 2 calcite blocks, we're going to place 2 stairs like this. We're going to place a calcite on top of the calcite that's already there. And then we're going to fill the rest of this in with quartz, including making this bit here a full block, bring us up in line with the stair. Now we'll fill this small bit here in with 2 quartz. Then we'll get 2 bone block, place that on the left. We're going to place a snow block behind that, and we're going to place a white concrete block here. Now we're going to mirror what's underneath with the red. So we just put the red on top of where it already is. Same with the quartz here, the slabs, we're going to place that here, and we're going to bring that in line to here. Now on top of where we've got these 2 blocks, we're actually going to place 2 snow blocks, and then the rest is all going to be quartz on top like that. Now we're going to grab a temporary block here. We're going to need to place dirt here and here because we want to place on this top corner, nose side, a slab on the next bit up, another slab here. Then we're going to place dirt there, there, and there so that we can place a quartz pillar. Now we might need to place another block behind. Let's see if we get the direction we want it facing. No, it should be okay this way. That direction, in line with the ship. Now we'll get rid of our temporary blocks here, because what we want to do is repeat what we've just done here on the lower section as well. So exactly the same kind of place that we're looking at. So we want our slab to be here. We place 1 slab there, then we need another slab here, and then we just want the quartz pillar again to be 1 below. Just like that. Now we'll do the first of the sort of the weapon bit that goes along here. We'll do the bottom one together, and then obviously the one above is absolutely identical. So start by coming to behind the pillar. We're going to get polished andesite, a full block or 2 slabs here with a wall. And then we're going to have a blast furnace with the grill facing out the back. Then you just place a button on top. Now coming in front of the quartz pillar, we're going to have once again a full block, another wall, but this time we'll want to get a temporary block because we're going to have another furnace, but we want it to face the same direction as this one. So the grill is going that way too. Then on front of that, or in front of that, we're going to put our end stone brick wall. I know this is a hideous texture, looks weird, but the real one has some yellow in it, and just having this hint of yellow, especially from a distance, works super well. Then we go back to the polished deep slate wall for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 with a full andesite block or 2 slabs in front of it, like so. Then we're going to have 1 and 2 end rods, and then we want to have 1 slab on the bottom and 1 in the exact same place on the top 2, like that. And there we have 1 complete. So that's the design, double end rod, Pac-Man sort of shape there, 8 of the deep slate into that, furnace, wall, 2 polished, and then the furnace with the button at the back. So now I'm going to add the one on the top. We now have both of them added, and that is one side complete. So what we're going to do now is flip this over and build it on the other side. So mirror this on the opposite side. There's only one minor difference between this wing and the other. In the lower section, where you have going from the body outwards, on the wing we just built, it goes 2 mushroom stem, a gap, and 2 white concrete. Whereas on this wing, you instead make it 2 white concrete, a gap, and a smooth quartz slab, and a mushroom stem. For the most part, that's your X-wing complete. If you want to add landing gear and have it sitting on the ground, you can click on the landing gear chapter in the description. Alternatively, go to the building notes chapter for some final points. If you're looking to build another X-wing, maybe this time with the wings open to go beside this one, you want to repeat the entire part of building the body up until the point I did in the video, and then switch to the wings open chapter to find out where to go from there. Before we add our S-foils in attack position, we need to do some additional work to the body. The first thing we need to change is we actually need to break off these two stairs that are here, these two blocks behind it, and just replace a slab here and here. This is just a hangover from the way they would be if the wings were closed. So we just need to make that quick modification now. Let's break the stair, break these blocks, and put yourself on a slab on the top and bottom half, just like that. Next, come to the very back, and what you want to do is expand this by 1 by adding just 1 of exactly every kind of block that's already there. So you see we've got the bone block here, slab here, we've got stairs here. So there we are, we've now added 1 to everything that was already there, so it expands a bit more. Now we're going to come up till we're level with it, get ourselves the observer, and we're going to place the observer 1 block behind, 3 along the bottom, so the red bit's facing towards us. Then we want 2 on the sides. For the 3 on top, we'll need some temporary blocks, I think, to help us place them. And yep, 3 on the top, like so. Then we want to place 1 blast furnace facing this way. And now we fill the whole front section here in with iron bars, just like this. So iron bars all there, along here. I hate crouching on scaffolding, and perfect. Now get yourself around the other side. We can get rid of our temporary blocks here, and then we're going to place furnaces all round in that shape, like that. Now come below, get yourself your smooth quartz stairs, and we need to bring these stairs all along here until they cover this block on the end. Not you, sir. And the same thing on the other side, just like so. Head up on top, look back towards the engine here, and then on this stair down, the stair that's above the observer, going to place a quartz pillar facing in the same direction as the ship, then a quartz slab on the outside of that, switch to smooth stair, and place 1 facing down, like that. And then what you want to do is do them facing backwards, the stairs, all the way until it connects with this stair at the front here. So until we connect to these 2 stairs, and then we're actually going to break this stair and also flip it round so it's facing the same direction. Now we want to do the same thing on the opposite side. We're going to look down at this block here, get our quartz pillar, place it facing this direction, quartz slab on top, then we're going to have our stair facing out the way here, stair going backwards, connect it to this stair over here, like this, get rid of the second stair here, and turn it round, face the same way. Next up, we're going to come and peek down into the bit we just made. Look to this furthest edge here, and we're going to place a smooth quartz block right there. Then we're going to place stairs normal way there, so they're looking towards these stairs that we see all the way along till 1 before the end, where we'll switch back to the smooth quartz block like so. And then we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. So come to one end, put the full quartz block, then place stairs for 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on the end one again, getting your smooth quartz block. Now come on inside, and there's a couple of things to do in here. First of all, look up at the bit we built in the roof earlier and add a slab here and another slab here, just to seal off that bit you can see that was exposed. Now we're going to look over towards the back, get our smooth slabs. Where the stairs are, put a slab up here, a slab down there. Same on the opposite side, slab here, slab there. Then you're going to look at the observer. On the bottom half of the face, a slab. On the top half, a slab. Same here, same here. Now we're going to take a line of slabs all the way along the top here until we reach this bit. And these are temporary on the edge. To put those in right there, just so it's covering the stairs, mirror to the other side. Let's do the same over here. So we come 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and stop. Then we, in front of where the stairs are, or the slabs, we cover that and break that up. Now we also want a line of slabs underneath this one to mirror this. So we'll need to put, let's see, temporaries in here. Break this out. So see, it's just going to run the same line, but underneath like so. So we'll do the same thing on this side. We'll use this. Seeing as it's here, get us in the right position, and then we draw our line along there. Now the last thing we want to do is fill this gap in here with slabs. So we'll do it by that, and then we'll break this one out. So we're just basically filling in this bit here with slabs all the way along. I'm glad we're inside now that the weather is starting to get pretty bad. So again, we'll use this to bridge over, break out this one, and we're just filling. Just fill in the rest of this after a brief trip to bed. The last thing I wanted to do is, if you have a look at this block here to the left of this one, break that and replace it instead with white concrete, just to give this one a bit of variety from the other design. Now we'll come to the outside of where we've just been building. Switch to our smooth quartz stair. On this very last edge stair here, underneath this bit, you're going to place a stair just facing down the way like that, and then one in from the end, you're going to place a stair in the same way and fill the gap in between with slabs like so. Now we want to add the same thing, this will be harder to place, like this, on the top. So an exact flip of it, if you take that as your middle point, stair, the same, and then where we have a stair here, we also need to place one upside down, and then we need to fill the middle in with slabs. Then of course we want to do this in the same place on the other side. There we are, the same on both sides. Now it's at this point that we're going to start on the wings. So what we're going to do is I'm going to explain how to build one wing over on this side here. Well, two wings, the one up here and the one sticking out here. And then you just mirror those to do it on the opposite side. So let's get winging it. So to start our wing, what we're going to do is we're going to make on the lower wing one long strip that goes all the way from here to the edge of the wing, and then that gives us something to build up off of and get on top of, and it'll make things easier. So this is a bit fiddly, so bear with the start bit. Focus, focus. So look towards this part, towards the front end of the X-Wing. You're going to come to the second slab here. Going to slap down 3 temporary blocks. Then we're going to turn around, we're going to break out this block here. We're going to switch to a polished andesite stair and put it, so it's basically one over and one underneath the slab there. Get a polished Andy slab, pop it there, and another one there, and that's starting to form our engine. Now we're going to place a temporary block on this side of the Andy thing, and another one here, and that's going to allow us to place a slab right there. Now we need 2 slabs on a level lower down than this, so we're going to put in again the temporaries here and here so that we can place 1 lower, and as I say, we need 2. So there is 2. Next we need to come down for 4, so we can just bring this one forward, and again we can do 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now we need to come down 3. So we'll place temporary here and here and here. And we go 1, 2, 3. And then just 1 more we need to come down by. And 1 like that at the end. Then we're going to switch to quartz pillar for the last bit. We need to just again build our temporary block down there so that our quartz pillar can be the same direction as the ship. And 1 below that one. Now what we can do is actually build ourselves up on the side here, and we can get rid of all of these temporary blocks. So do that now. Okay, now we can really start to cook with gas when it comes to getting on with this wing. So first thing, not the first one, the second slab, you're going to place 1 next to that one, and then you're going to place 2 next to that one. So it's 3, 3, 2, 1, and quartz pillar. Next level is 1, 2, 3 across this way. The next one is red slab, 2, 3. Next one is white slab, red slab, white slab. And same again, white slab, red slab, white slab. Next level, quartz slab, red slab, quartz slab. Then white slab, red slab, 2 white quartz slabs. Apparently getting up on there, it doesn't necessarily make it as easy if you're as klutzy as I am. Then this last level here is all white slabs. Now if we come back underneath where we put our first temporary block to start with the Andy stairs, get yourself your polished andesite stairs, place next to this, hopefully we can do it, 1, 2. Then behind this we're going to place 1 red stair and 2 quartz stair, white stair. No! Why it gotta be this way? Right. Ah! I hate stairs. Ah! No! I hate stairs so much. Right, there you go. Okay, now we're gonna do the same thing on the opposite side, if I can even achieve something like that. So 1, 2, 3, and then the double white. How did I make that so easy? Now if we look to this slab in the middle, no, stairs, your time is done for now, go away. Look at this one here, 1 out from it, you're going to place a full block, and then you're going to place a slab in front of the full block. 1 behind, we're going to place a red nether brick slab behind that, and then we're going to do 3 of the small quartz slabs. Well, they're all the same size. You get what I mean. Now come back on top of where you were just building. 1 block in, so on the second block, you're going to place a block of coal with a button in front of it. This is forming part of the engine. Then the rest of this, you can just fill with polished andesite, the full block, or of course the, 2 slabs. Then once you reach this edge, you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 andesite with a redstone block. Okay. Now switch to your polished Andy slabs. Place 1 on top of the coal block, 1 in front of it, 1 behind. So we've got 3. Then we're going to do a space of 3. So 3, space of 3, 1, gap, another 1, another single gap, and 1, 2. Like this. Now switch to full andesite polished block. Said in the wrong order. Look at your red block. Going to place 1 on either side like so. We're then going to leave a gap of 1 here. Switch to our Andy walls. Place 1, 2, 3. Just like this. And 1, 2, 3. And then the last thing, look at this red block right here. Behind this 3, you're going to place 1 slab there. Super important. Now get yourself underneath. Now underneath, back to your polished andesite slab. Look at this slab, gap of 1, place 1 there, place 1 on top of the red bit as well. Switch to your polished andesite stair. You're going to have 1 upside down there. You're going to have 1 upside down on this side here, and you're going to have 1 upside down on here. Now we need to get up in front of this gap, just like this. Get your iron bar, place 1 in front of it, like so. There we go. Now we're going to move over to this section here. Now get yourself on top of this quartz pillar. Start with the polished andesite block. Place a block on either side. Switch to your polished deep slate wall. Place 1 piece on either side. 1 and 2. Jump yourself down. Switch to the blast furnace. Place the blast furnace at the end with the grill facing towards us and a stone button on front of it. You can come around to this bit. We're going to need temporary block. We're going to build 1 and 2. Break this temporary block and place another blast furnace again so the grill is facing the same direction as the other one. Now let's clamber back up on top. Switch to our 1 piece of end stone brick wall. And we're going to place that in front of there. Now polish deep slate wall for 8. So 1, 2, and 8. Now switch to your polished andesite block. Place 1 of those. Then you're going to place 2 end rods. So 1 and 2. Then we need to place a polished andesite slab on top of the closest end rod, and then you can drop down underneath, place one underneath like so. And there we are. Now that section is complete. This entire wing, in fact, is now complete. So you might be feeling to yourself kind of brave and thinking, I know what I'm doing. All you need to do is flip this wing upside down, put it up there, put one on the other side, and 2 on the other side, and you're done. So if you're confident enough, feeling you can mirror this about, go for it. If not, we're going to do the top wing together now. So get yourself up on top of this wing. Okay, first off, for the top wing, we're going to look this stair here, place a slab here, stair there, one in, place a slab there, then fill all of that in. Then we're going to switch to our polished andesite slabs, place 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then back to our quartz slab, place 1 on the edge there and 1 behind like that. Now come on the top of the wing, get yourself polished andesite stairs. You're going to place 1 here where there's this gap and then another 2. That gives us 3 of those. Next to that, a red nether brick stair and then 2 quartz stair. Now we'll come to the stairs here. The second block back, we're going to put a block of coal, the stone button, mirroring our engine below. Then our polished andesite blocks, or 2 slabs, bring them back till they're in line with the stairs. Then go another 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then place a block of redstone. Then we'll get a full andesite polished block, place 1 on either side like so. Switch to your polished andesite stairs, have them facing in the normal direction on either side, not that way, this way. Then we're going to place a full slab here, and then the last thing we need to do is place a normal stair facing that way, like that. Then we go back to our slab, we place 1 there, the gap in between, another gap there, and we're going to place 1, 2, and 3 of the white slabs. And we're going to grab our red nether slabs, we're going to place 1 here, back to the polished andesite slab for 1, 2, and 3. Then we need to place 1 slab there just to help with the mirroring. Now we need to mirror the stairs here on the other side. So we need to get our polished andesite stairs for 3. That same position, so that's 1, 2, and 3. Then we need our red nether brick stair here for 1. Then we've got, what, 2 stairs there. So let's grab our stairs. Go 1 and 2. Then we're going to switch to our andesite wall and place that on here for 3. 1, 2, 3. And on the other side, 1, 2, and 3. Come below the bits you've just been placing. Look at your redstone block. Place an andesite slab there, 1 in front of it, and then a gap of 1. And place 1 there. Then we need to get, as we did before, in front of the redstone block so that we can place our 1 piece of iron bar. Right, and now get yourself back on to this wing here. Now grab your smooth quartz slab. We're going to look at this wall and we're going to place a strip of these slabs all along here till we reach the first stair. So that's for a total of 5. Then we'll place another row behind that that goes 1, 2, red nether brick slab, 1, 2. Then on this one we go 1 red nether brick slab, and then 1, 2, 3 of the old white. Then we need to take the slabs up 1 level and in 1. So if we place temporary block like that, we can go 1 of the white, 1 red, 2 white. The same again in the next row, 1 white, 1 red, 2 white. Then it's 2 white, 1 red, 1 white, and then just a row of all white. Then we need to come up 1 last level and in 1 again. So if we place a block there, we can go 1, 2, 3, another 3, 1, 2, 3, finished off by another 2, 1, 2. Now at the end, we need to come up by 1 again, and we also need to add a quartz pillar, just facing again in the same direction as the ship. Now we can add the same bit as we added below, which was a polished andesite block on either side. Then we need our polished deep slate wall, one on again on either side. Then we need a blast furnace to go on the back with a button in front of it. Come here, hope we don't fall through when the wall changes, good. Again with the grill just facing it towards the back with this in front of it. Then we'll need a couple of temporary blocks. Go in front of our wall, so 1 and 2. Then we can come back here, turn around, break that, place that. We break this and place our one bit of end stone brick wall. Goes right here. Then we go for 8 with this. 1, 2, 7 and 8. Then we place a full polished andesite block at the very end. And 2 end rods sticking out like this. 1 and 2. Last of all, get your slab and you put 1 above. And then this will be a bit trickier to place. And 1 below, like so. Okay, one last thing to do before we're finished here. I made a slight mistake. This first row here should be on the lower part of this wall. So break out this 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we're just going to move them down a level. So if you look at this stair, place 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That gives us the perfect shape. So make sure you change that little bit. So here we have one X of our X-Wing, so I suppose it's technically a V-Wing right now. So we're going to flip this over and build exactly the same thing on the other side. The other wings are an identical mirror to those we've just built. Unlike the closed version, we are mainly using slabs, so we don't have the same options for texturing. Your X-Wing is now complete. If you want to build another, start back at the X-Wing body chapter. For some final thoughts on the interior and a few other things, go to the building notes chapter. Links are in the description. Now on to Poe's black and orange X-Wing. This is built exactly the same way as the white version, with different blocks. Grab a pen and paper and take note, as here are the substitutions. The nose cone uses polished deep slate instead of polished andesite. The main change is that most of the smooth quartz variants are replaced with polished blackstone variants. All of the lower full blocks are black concrete, replacing white concrete, mushroom stem, and full smooth quartz blocks. The red markings are instead orange, using smooth red sandstone blocks, stairs, cut red sandstone slabs, and orange terracotta. The snow blocks on top are replaced by coal blocks. BB-8 is made from the same chiseled quartz block, but with an acacia button on either side and a plant pot on top. The wing pattern is slightly different. We have an orange line of 7 that starts one after the engine. Below the 3rd and 5th block, place another orange slab and a single polished andesite slab on the side closest to the engine. The pattern is the same on every wing. For the laser cannon, replace the pillar with chiseled polished blackstone, place chiseled deep slate on either side, then polish deep slate at the back and andesite wall at the front. The blast furnaces are the same, then go 6 deep slate wall, 3 andesite wall, a chiseled deep slate with polished blackstone slabs above and below the 2 end rods. You can also use regular blackstone variants mixed in with the polished to darken some sections. I use this mainly on the lower and rear of the X-Wing. For something a little bit different, I used black shulker boxes, placing them in the nose, underneath, and at the very back. You can now head to the X-Wing body chapter to start building, or if you have completed building, jump to the building notes chapter for some final things. Now in this section, we're going to see how to add the landing gear to the closed wing X-Wing if you want to have it sitting on the ground. What you want to do is start by adding this underneath the front nose. Here where this section changes to the red from the mushroom stem, you're going to come one in from the bone block to the first of the red stairs here, and placing underneath this slab 1, 2, 3, 4 dirt, and then this is ground level. And you can just, obviously it'll depend what your ground's like, but make sure you have at least a plus sign like this in place. At the rear, you're going to look at the rear engine. Here we have the slab, the full block, red slab, then 1 and 2 on the second quartz. You're going to place 1, 2, 3 blocks coming down, and again, this is the ground, and then you want the same temporary structure in exactly the same place on the other side. Now back to the front section, what we're going to do is place a quartz slab on the outside of here, 1, 2, and 3. And the same on the opposite side. And this is to make it look like this section is opening up, because we can now break the 1, 2, 3 on the inside. And we see here, this section is opened up. So inside here, we're now going to place, above where the dirt is, a piece of black stone wall and an iron bar. Then going to place a hopper facing just straight down from the wall. We're then going to fill polished blackstone brick wall, oh, not there, all the way from underneath the hopper to one above the ground. Back to our iron bars, we're going to place another piece of iron bar inside there, another piece below it, and 2 pieces below that. So 2 here, then we have up here 2, then 1. In fact, I think if we add another one in, yep. That looks even nicer. Now we can look at the bottom. We're going to place an anvil. Now I need to get it in the right direction. Yep, so it needs to be facing the same direction as the ship. Then get yourself a polished blackstone slab and place it either side. And you're done. That's the front lower landing gear thing in place. Now turning to our rear landing gear. What we're going to do is above where the dirt is, we're going to place 2 on either side and then break away these 2. We can also break out these 2 blocks that are there as well. Above that, we're going to place iron bars in both spaces there, a little bit different than the front. A hopper going straight down there with an iron bar at the side here. You can break out 2 of these, place in your 2 walls, and then 1 iron bar connecting there. The anvil again, same direction, going forward and back, with a polished blackstone slab on either side. Dead simple. Then of course you're going to do the same thing on the other side. And when you're done, it should look something like this. Pretty effective, and certainly great if you want to have this sitting on the ground level. Now that you've finished this, the last thing you'll want to check out is the building notes chapter for some final ideas about the interior, lighting, and a couple of other things. This is the building notes chapter where we just have a collection of random things to mention about the builds. The first one is to do with lighting up, as you can see with our mod here. There are some spots that are spawnable. It might not matter to you, but to me it breaks the immersion of the X-Wing if you see like a creeper hanging around on top. So here's how you can light it up relatively unobtrusively. First come to this snow block here, just where it first rises up. We're going to get rid of that and we're going to replace it with any lighting block, the white carpet on top of it. Now we're going to come past the cockpit, then to this edge here down from R2. We can break this block here and again do the same thing, replace it with a lighting block and a carpet, and the same thing on this side here like that. Now the rest of it, the best thing I've got so far is like glow lichen, and I try to put it in places where you can't see it too much or it goes on a slightly darker thing. That's harder on the wings here, so maybe putting it on the red, I don't know, is least obtrusive. Put it there where it's going to be less noticeable. So we've gotten all the zeros off from here. So that's looking good. You can do the same thing on the opposite side. So we'll just hide it down there. Zeros here, one here. That one onto there. So that's looking good. Now we can hop underneath where it is pretty dark. So we'll do the same thing here. That looks good. One there. Just wherever we have to. I think we'll need one just about there. Now we need to fly around, do it the other side. Just trickier on the outside bit because you don't have any double blocks, you see, to rely on for hiding things. Let's put this one down here. Didn't do much. Still need another one here. There we go. We have a fully lit up X-Wing. And of course you can do the same thing on the X-Wing that is flat, except you need to do less things basically. And when it comes to doing it to Poe's one, you can do the same thing, but you can use black carpet instead to hide the lighting. The next thing to mention is, of course, the astromech droid that goes in here. We've got this R2-D2 design that I featured in the video. I want to show you a different design. You obviously saw BB-8 as well. That's covered during the Poe section, if you want to check that out. And, of course, we've got this one. This is like R4 supposed to be. I don't know if maybe this mushroom block is a bit much, but it's definitely red. That's for sure. I just don't want to use any of the red blocks we featured already. So I'd love to see, consider you've only basically got 2 blocks to work with, you've not got much to work with. I'd love to see any of your designs or hear any of your design ideas for droids that we could feature in the X-Wing. Next up, I wanted to mention pilots in case you want to make these things kind of come to life. Here I've got an armor stand. You can just about see through the tinted glass. Maybe you can't see anything on YouTube. With my head on it, with the Rebel Alliance helmet and everything on as well. Just to give the idea of a pilot sitting in there. I did that there. Over on Poe's X-Wing, we've gone for our good best buddy friend McBacon, who is in there. Yeah, hey McBacon is in there flying this X-Wing. And of course, in our final one over here, you can see that we have nothing. We have got just an empty minecart that I can sit in if I want to sit and pretend that I'm flying an X-Wing. And that does bring us nicely to the interiors. In the interior, there's not really much room to work with. Basically, I've built up just the quartz on the inside until we can place a minecart just on the third one in here and a few down with one lever in front of it. That's the simple bit that you can do there. But if you were using this one, the one with the wings closed, and you had it on the ground and you wanted to use it for a base, I do have an idea for that. So behind the R2 unit, you could place a lever on the second block down, the andesite one, and replace the daylight detector with this metal trapdoor. You then build a little staircase, and you do have quite a lot of space in here. You don't have the same kind of space on the one with the open wings. Obviously, the wings technically wouldn't be open if it was sitting on the ground anyway. So with all this space here, you can build a nice stairway down. I've put loads of shulker boxes, so you've got ample storage. You already have the blast furnaces built in as part of the design. I've added a few working blocks and a bed to sleep in. Because this is a slab here, or a stair, I can't remember. You can put your ender chest in there, and you can get everything you need to actually live inside your X-Wing. If you want to use this as a small starter base, although I'm sure you could do, with a bit more effort, something even cooler on the inside. The last building note to mention is that you could, of course, customize different squadrons by replacing anything that's red with a color of your choice. Here I've tried it with blue, with the warped wood, and I think it looks awesome, actually. It's very cool. This is Blue Squadron, and that's Red Squadron. I like it, and here you can see it on the wings as well. It looks very, very cool. Although the red, like Luke Skywalker, is definitely the best. Actually, the orange from Bro is pretty good. You know what? Just build them all. They're all good. We've reached the end of our tutorial, and be sure to let me know in the comments below what other Star Wars builds you'd like to see. Thanks for spending this time with me. I've loved spending it with you, and I'll see you next time for more awesome fun. in Minecraft. Bye-bye.